It is a pleasure to have you here today. It's always a pleasure, especially right now. This is our first large community event that we've had since COVID, so we're excited about it. We had our first on-site recruiting event for any significant size a couple of weeks ago, and that went really well. And so we're just, getting back in the swing of things. And so in many ways, just having this event today is a success. And I want to thank everybody for coming out and spending time with us this morning for the Manufacturing Roundtable, but also for the ones that are sticking around for the Maker Faire Conference. We have a lot of great sessions, and I'll kind of get into that here in a little bit. But I really want to introduce Mayor Tom Broderick. Mayor Broderick has been a huge supporter of Purdue Polytechnic here in Anderson since day one, and I can't thank him enough for all the support that he's given us through resources and mostly through his team. Greg Winkler, Karen, Levi Rinker, Mark Slayton, all of them have been integral to some of our programming here at Purdue Polytechnic in Anderson. And I want to welcome Mayor Broderick up and let him have a few thoughts and words and welcome us to our Manufacturing Roundtable and Maker Faire Conference. Mayor?
Thank you, Corey. Not as tall as Corey, darn it. Well, good morning, everyone. It's a great day to be here, and as pointed out, it's nice and sunny out. We haven't seen that for a little while, and I guess we're going to get a little warm today, too. That'll be nice. Might be able to get the last few leaves off the ground. I'm looking forward to that, too. This particular space, for those of you who haven't been here before, and I want to welcome all of you here, and particularly all the folks that are attending both today's roundtable as well as the Makers Faire. And I know Corey's going to go into a lot of that here in a few minutes, but the history of this particular facility in this area where we sit today, of course, is a former General Motors plant and plants actually that ran all the way down the street here and across the community. And of course, unfortunately, many years ago, those plants left along with a lot of jobs and so forth. And so as the various administrations through the years looked at different opportunities and what could be done to try to create new job opportunities, the concepts came up with a lot of folks involved that resulted in the building of this particular facility in cooperation with the Flagship Enterprise Center. And Terry Truitt's here today. I'm not sure where Terry is now. I just talked to him a few minutes ago. He's the executive, there he is, way up the top. He's the executive director of that, along with their board of directors. And that particular entity is made up of board members that are appointed in partnership with Anderson University and also with the city of Anderson. And working together with them, along with some other folks, we were able to come up with the funding mechanism to get this built, and then enter into partnership with Purdue University, who's been a great partner. And Purdue, of course, now is in this particular space, along with the folks that are behind us in some of the makerspace areas. And it all goes back to what we're trying to do, which, of course, is to recreate and bring back some of the important manufacturing components that used to exist here in our community. The United States, as you know, was the leader in manufacturing for years and years, really a period of at least 100 years. And then because of different events, that changed. But now we're bringing back not just quality manufacturing, but advanced manufacturing, and we're using the innovation that we're so much used to here in this community. There was a time when you couldn't hardly drive a vehicle in the United States that it either didn't have a component part that was made here in Anderson, Indiana, or developed or innovated here. And so we go back to those roots and we move forward. So that's what a part we're here about today, what we celebrate today. And then going back a few more recent years, the Roundtable was created in order to bring our local manufacturers, not just in the city, but in our county, together in order to collaborate and to discuss and to partnership about what we can do to help each other to continue to succeed. And of course, one of the things that's been lacking for some time has been the workforce. Everybody needs workforce. And I know as I travel around, and Greg Winkler, the executive director from the economic department, just heard from a moment ago, we go overseas, we talk to manufacturers there, and they tell us the same story over and over again. If we only had the workforce. And so we developed a program, also in collaboration with many of these entities, the AMP program, which stands for Anderson Advanced Manufacturing Program. And I think we're in our 7th, or maybe coming close to our 8th now, going to be eventually graduating class from that. And that brings local folks in that we're able to train, provide some skills, some both soft skills and some hard skills, and then our local manufacturers are kind enough to partner with us and give them opportunities for interviews and potential employment. And we've been very successful at that. It's exceeded our expectations, but again, it's part of all of this coming together and collaborating to try to help bring a workforce and help local manufacturers to be able to be sustainable. And so I'm very proud to be part of that, and I'm proud that you're here today to help us celebrate that and here to work together. And I know I'm looking very forward to hearing from the folks at Perfecto, who also have long roots here in Madison County and Anderson. I know they're going to have a lot of great words to share. And on top of that, then for those of you who are going to participate throughout the day at the Makers Faire, I know you're going to find a lot of stuff that's very interesting. And not only this facility is it beautiful, but what it does, both at Purdue, what they do in cranking out some quality students in engineering, but also what we do in the maker spaces, and then back behind us in some of the other areas where manufacturing takes place. So on behalf of the City of Anderson, I'd like to welcome all of you here today. Thank you again. Thank you, Corey, for everything that you've done on behalf of Purdue for the City of Anderson. We really appreciate all that. And all of you are here. There's many leaders here. If we tried to recognize everybody, we wouldn't be out of here for a couple hours longer than we should. So I just want to thank you all for being here and for the opportunity to participate. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mayor. It's always a pleasure to have you here on campus. And the question that we came up when we started to think about this Maker Faire opportunity was about almost 8-9 months ago. And really, if you think back then, honestly, I thought we would be past the mask, and I thought if we would get past some of these things. But unfortunately, that hasn't happened. And so we've just started to kind of rethink of how we wanted to really promote manufacturing, making, how do we build a better workforce. And so our friends at Purdue Conferences, the City of Anderson, we just looked at the Maker Faire brand, and we looked at their organization. We said we want to get involved with that and really highlight the Maker Faire movement. And because we know that Anderson, Madison County, the surrounding areas are famous for making products and making goods. As the mayor mentioned, these communities would be full of manufacturers. And our question is, why now? One, because we wanted to build connections. I've been with Purdue Polytechnic for 10 years now, Ivy Tech before that, and we hear the same challenges of needing a better workforce and building collaborations, and it has been part of my mission to be able to help do that, and that's what this Maker Faire conference is to do, is to help create those connections. And I actually got a picture here from AMP. The mayor mentioned AMP. That has been a significant program that we've been operating leading up to COVID, and we've just done one of our first sessions after. And that's truly a collaboration of our manufacturers. It's a collaboration with Ivy Tech Community College, and I know Christina is here somewhere. She was a big part of getting AMP going this year for us, and so it's creating those collaborations and breaking down barriers, giving people an opportunity to work in manufacturing or to be a maker of some kind, and have a chance for upward mobility. And it's also building capacity. How many folks in here that are employers are struggling with staffing and a skilled staff workforce? I can count that as myself. It's tough trying to find good people. And so, the staffing and building capacity for a better trained workforce. And that goes to our next concern. It's because our labor market is extremely dynamic right now. We don't know, because of COVID and other issues, what's going to happen the next day. Steve and I were just talking about that. And how do you respond? How do you deal with this particular challenge? We also have this newer demand for locally made products. How can we increase manufacturing capacity? How can we have more products? How can we do more business with our local manufacturers? The supply chain challenges, like I've never seen it before. And I think it really speaks to why can't we make more of these products locally? And to do that, we need to have a better workforce. And if we're able to do that, we're going to have a more resilient local economy. And that's really one of the things that we want to focus on through this conference. And what are you going to learn today? If you stick around for this conference, you're going to learn as an employer how to use these services to create value for your company. We have folks here from different organizations to share with you about their best practices, what they're doing that can help you. It also will help your employees and help them see value in working for you and having the skills that they need to be better suited for their work. And ultimately that trickles down to your customers, right? Having customers that have a good product, a good service, and we think some of the workshops that we have today will help do that. And in particular, I want to mention NMAC. NMAC is here today. They're one of our sponsors. They're down here from West Lafayette, Elisa Deck and Sasha Harrell. They've already been doing work here in Madison County and in East Central Indiana. Up here on the screen, we got a picture. This happened this week. NMAC did a ribbon cutting of their Innovation and Design Studios at Westdale Elementary and Alexandria Schools, elementary schools. And we're going to do one over at Daleville here in the next few days or weeks. This gives kids an opportunity and introduces them to manufacturing, design, and design thinking and problem solving at when they enter kindergarten. This investment represents about $60,000 from NMAC into our local school corporations. We hope to do more, and maybe if you're with a local school corporation today, connect with NMAC, Elisa Deck, and Sasha Harrell. They have a couple of great presentations. Our friends from MadJax and M10 over in Muncie, they're here. Kyra Zylstra, she's a fantastic grant writer, so if you're looking for ways to improve grant writing, go to Kyra's session. If you're looking at hiring makers as part of your workforce, Jane Ellery has an interesting talk around the book called Born to Build. And if you're in her session, you'll get a copy of that book today. And the reason why I have these pictures is this is some of the work that we've done over in Muncie with the M10 and MadJax folks. The student over there with me, his name is Zachariah Wright. You'll see Zachariah somewhere around here today. He was a kid at Muncie Central who wanted to be an engineer and didn't know where to go and didn't really want to go to West Lafayette, but it was through the work of our Future of Work partnerships over in Muncie that got him here. Now he's here, and our goal is to get him into an internship locally and get him on the right track. We did a project, Linda's here from Yorktown. That's Heath Dudley. We did, during COVID, an engineering project with M10 on the three heads of Mr. Dudley, where the students explored 3D printing and additive manufacturing during Halloween. Also, we've developed field trips to Magna Powertrain, Mersix, and other manufacturers. And then we also, Josh Dillard's up here and Dave Perrell, they're Anderson teachers who did a summer STEM camp over in Muncie. Kyle Squilius, he's one of our 3D printing experts with Purdue MEP. He's here today, and he's going to give a talk on additive manufacturing for personal use, for manufacturing, for education. And we've done a variety of 3D printing projects here, and Kyle has been extremely helpful in launching our 3D printing lab and supporting our lab, and he is a great resource, and he does a lot of work with local manufacturers. I can't speak enough about Vex Robotics. Josh Dillard, Dave Perrell from Anderson High School are here today. They're up there. They're going to give a talk along with Kurt Grams about how Vex Robotics has changed the paradigm in their classroom. We see that Vex Robotics is going to be the key of growing the workforce here locally. In the last 2.5 years, Purdue Polytechnic Anderson, with some support of some funders, have invested close to $40,000 into Vex Robotics directly into the high schools. And you can hear from Dave and Josh on how that's happened. Here you've got a picture of Anderson High School's Vex Robotics team. Their Vex Robotics team is as big or bigger than most athletic teams at Anderson High School. That's important. You have our Vex Robotics Build Day at MadJax in Muncie. That just happened a few weeks ago. Over here, we had Muncie Central kids and Anderson High School kids working together at the Indianapolis Indians ball game, promoting Vex Robotics. This is collaboration. This is breaking down those barriers where people say how many people could ever say that Anderson and Muncie Central would ever work together on a project? Yeah, if you're old like me and you've been around, that would never happen. If you're a small manufacturer or a small maker, come by and visit Adam Hooksma's talk today about Bankable and how they can help you with funding and business planning to help launch your manufacturing or your making initiative. Adam's been a great partner to us. I really got to know Adam when we were able to get small manufacturing grants to help about 7 local companies with launching their prototypes or creating marketing strategy for those companies. And it's been great to work with Adam. Elizabeth Metashkar, I've met her once. I don't know if Elizabeth's here somewhere. She's with DWD, and she's here to talk about breaking down the myths of work-based learning with high school kids and creating apprenticeship programs. I put these pictures here because these are some initiatives that we have that are starting this work-based learning. Mersix is here, and that was a field trip that we took out to Mersix. They are actually taking kids right out of high school to do that, and it's just really impressive, and many of our other partners are doing that. We also created a lean manufacturing simulator at Alexandria High School. That just launched about 3 months ago. And we have 19 students over at Alexandria right now learning about lean manufacturing using that lean simulator. If you want to see a bigger lean simulator, make sure you see our demonstration today with Steve Ann Sweeney and his lean simulator in the back. Davin Huston will be here today. He's an electrical engineering technology professor with the School of Engineering Technology at Purdue University. His background is what I would call as an Imagineer. He has degrees in theater and electrical engineering, worked at Disney, has done a lot of stuff in electrical engineering and theater, and really taps into that new thinking of using the right and left brain for problem solving. And he'll be our keynote speaker today, and Davin is fantastic. If you get the chance, stick around for some of our demonstrations. Center for Employee Development, HERCO, Digital Woodcarver, our VEX robotics team, that's our college team. We had some kids from Greenfield Central that showed up for our VEX robotics tournament like, hey, Mr. Sharp, do you guys have a VEX U team? Because we'll come if you have a VEX U team. I'm like, I don't have a team, but we're starting one today, and you guys are going to be it. And that's what we did. And now we have a VEX U team, and during COVID, when they were doing their virtual competitions, our kids here in Anderson, at Purdue Polytechnic Anderson, were 8th in the world for about 2 weeks. That's pretty darn good. That's pretty darn good. Our friends from Cole Iron Works are going to be here, and their forging equipment. We're going to be doing our 3D printing lab demonstrations. And so definitely see what we have in some of their technology and demos. Our friends from HERCO are here doing some work, and if you're interested in HERCO technology. Ashley, she'll be coming up here in just a second. She's going to do our breakfast kickoff talk with Perfecto. I can tell you without a doubt, I am so impressed with what Perfecto does in terms of their recruiting and retention of their employees and how they were able to change their culture in the last few years, and she'll get into that. And I want to also thank Perfecto for being our DWD apprenticeship sponsor with Alexandria Schools for those kids that are going through the lean simulation, as well as we're working on a CNC apprentice program, and Perfecto has been just a huge, huge supporter of ours in getting that done. I also want to thank our sponsors. I always thank the City of Anderson. They've given us so much, and we're so blessed by Mayor Broderick and his team. So we always have to thank them, the team here at Purdue Anderson, and the folks at Purdue NMAC for coming on board, not only for today, but the investments that they're making locally in our local school corporations to help promote manufacturing and getting kids, even at that kindergarten level, ready to work in manufacturing. And these are some special thanks. Our friends at Purdue Conferences, Chris Beck, Levi Rinker, Blake Garrison. Blake is one of our student workers today, graduated from Alexandria High School. I know we've got some LA folks here today. Blake is studying mechatronics engineering. Zach Wright, who I mentioned earlier, is one of our student workers. Dave Riegel, Marvin Faire, and Dennis Owen. We could not have done this today without them. Again, it is a huge opportunity just to be here after what we've gone through over the last year and a half. So thank you for coming out. I'm going to hand it over to Ashley from Perfecto. She's going to talk to you about their competitive advantage and what's been working well for them.
My name is Ashley Staffen. I am from here in Anderson. I am the People Operations Executive for Perfecto Tool and Engineering here in Anderson. We are a local business that has been here since 1955. We are a third generation owned business. We are best known for building custom test and assembly equipment. We also provide engineering services, and we do precision tooling. We're right up here on 53rd, and yeah. So that's a little bit about who we are. So why I'm here today. We have worked very closely with Purdue for quite some time, sharing what we deem to be our advantage, which is our culture. We worked very hard to get where we are today and to build this culture, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that this morning. So about 8 years ago, we were in a pretty tough spot. We were frustrated. We felt like we were stuck. We weren't going anywhere. We weren't getting bigger. We weren't getting smaller. We weren't changing. Our performance was inconsistent. We couldn't track it. We couldn't predict it. We didn't know where we were going. We had the equipment. We had the people. We had all of the resources. We could make anything we wanted. Couldn't get along. We weren't on the same page. It basically was changing who we were, and it was preventing us from moving forward. We knew we had to do something. As leaders, committed to making a change just had to figure out what that was. How we decided to do this. A lot of inward focus, self-reflection. What are our true obstacles? Is it people? Is it time? Is it resources? Then we had to listen to our team. That was probably the hardest part. Sit down, have a lot of meetings, have a lot of tough conversations, listen to a lot of things we weren't ready necessarily to hear. We started to develop internal teams. We made smaller teams within each department to allow better communication, allow the teams to talk through projects, not just everything spread out across the company. And then came people operations. So you probably all hear people operations, you assume HR. In the traditional sense, sure. I do probably 15% of benefits, payroll, things like that. But one thing we learned about our group, you use that HR word, they started to assume I basically rode my broom to work every day. So we chose to go with people operations because the key to this was having someone full-time focused, culture, communication, training, and having an open door for our team. Once we got all of those things in place, it was time to go to work and really roll up our sleeves. So out of all of this came core values. We have 4 of them. They are part of every single day at Perfecto. They are part of the interview process. They are part of onboarding. They are part of our morning meetings, and they are part of offboarding. Our core values speak to our past, they speak to our present, and they speak to our future. Customer experience. Our whole goal is to create solutions for our customers, and the best possible solution that we possibly can. They are an extension of our team, and they are treated as such. Whether they're on site or we're on site with them, they are treated as part of our team. And everything that we do with them, and it is a joint experience. Integrity. We truly believe in honest, genuine conversation and communication. Sometimes that's great, sometimes it's hard. But it holds us accountable for our actions within our own team. Learning, think, act, and reflect. We are constantly planning, acting, and then sitting down and talking about the outcome of what we did. We want to be better, we want to grow, and we want to change. The most important, not only to myself, but to our leadership team, is stewardship. Perfecto is bigger than us. We have to understand that. It was here before us, it will be here after us. It's our opportunity to write a chapter and to leave it better for the next group and the next chapter. So I'm here today. Andy Skaggs, who is our president and CEO, was unable to be here today because in true Andy fashion, we had a team member who had a death in the family, and he stepped up, traveled to another state, and helped out. So you guys have me today, but I'll go ahead and quote him even though he would probably be pretty mad at me if I did so. Core values are inspirational, not aspirational. They exist in every company. They're not created, they're discovered, nurtured, and shared, and they do not change over time. They're only effective if we make them part of our everyday existence. Like I said earlier, they are a part of our interview process. From the pre-screen, I start talking about core values. They are brought up through that entire process, through onboarding, through our stewardship program, regularly throughout tenure, and they're even implemented in our exit interviews. We are very passionate about leaving well. Not everyone's end goal is to be with Perfecto. Yeah, I'd love that, but that's not everyone's goal. We want to leave well and create relationships. You put the planning in, you put the work in, you decide what you're going to do. How do you keep it up? Be honest. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of commitment, and it's worth it every single day. Our team have daily huddles. Every single team member from top to bottom has a scheduled huddle every single day. They are with other members of the team that would benefit from the communication they provide. We start every huddle with a victory. I'll go back today and talk to my team, and my victory will be getting to be here with all of you. Getting to talk about what I love, what I do, and my company. They'll get to share any stucks they may have. This is an opportunity to say, hey, I'm waiting on this part. Have you heard from the vendor? It's a great opportunity to share even small things like that with other team members. We do one-on-ones. So every single team member, again, from top to bottom, has an opportunity for a monthly one-on-one with a supervisor. This is two-way communication. They're also provided with the agenda prior to, so they can come with thoughtful responses. It's not off the cuff of, hey, how was your day? No, we want to really know, how do we make these processes better? How do we make your job easier? How do we make it more efficient? So people ops, being me, I also meet with every single team member 4 times a year. I sit down and we have what we call start, stop, continues. So start, stop, continues. We start with starts, and that's an opportunity for our team members to tell me something they wish we would do, something they think could even just be fun, something they wish we would add to a meeting, some information they wish they would receive, something that would make their job easier. Stops, that's something that they feel we are currently doing that does not, 1, align with our core values, or 2, meet the goal that was originally intended. And then continues. This is an opportunity for them to tell us something that they love that we do and they hope we keep doing. That one's always fun for me. Core value nominations. So like I said, we instill these core values in everything that we do. We provide an anonymous way for our team members to recognize their peers for exuding these core values. So we have sheets that our team can fill out and drop in a box when they see another team member exuding these core values. They get to say which core value it is and recognize them for that activity. Celebrating victories once a month. It's very important to us to sit down and have a meal together. At these meals, we talk about these core value nomination forms and we recognize our team. It's also an opportunity for us as a leadership team to stand up in front of them and personally thank our team members for jobs that went out on time, extra work that went into projects, things like that that they might not necessarily get recognized for. And it's a great opportunity just to sit down, have a meal, and spend time together. And then finally, listening. Everyone says, oh, open door policy. No, truly. I've probably shut my door 5 times in the last year. It's not something I want to do. I only do it in emergency situations. We are an open door company, and part of that is being visible. Every day we have walks across the floor. Some team members may not know that they need to ask you a question until they see your face. And it's great. It's a great opportunity for us to break down walls, be personal. It doesn't have to be about work. But it gives us an opportunity to really have our ears to the ground and understand what's going on with our team. So the mayor talked and Corey talked. The job market is interesting right now. There's a lot of opportunity for job seekers to go where they want to go, choose where they want to work. Why us? Why choose Perfecto? We work really hard to provide an environment where our team members want to come to work. They want to be there. They want to feel heard, they want to feel understood, and they want to be part of something bigger. And we work very hard every day to do that. We're going to continue to stick to our core values, continue to listen, continue to work with them and communicate, and hopefully write a pretty great chapter for Perfecto. So thank you guys very much.